about the vision of if if I start healing myself and my mind flow and what I'm doing, then that gives me opportunity to show up for my kids, for my nieces and nephews. Being a grandma at some point, I'm not yet. I have a 17 and 19-year-old, but I believe that when we start living in this space that we believe that we can change, and you're going to hear so many people around you say, people don't change. You can't change an old dog. Like there's these sayings, and I understand that. You know what I think after being almost 15 years in the industry is that I believe that's true. Because to go this route and learn that you can really heal, it's another vulnerable route. But what if Fresh Talks Global Vision Group, what if we looked at it this way? I can still do what I do, stay in my triggers, and here's my walls, and I'm combating it back and forth. And I've just been doing this all my life. I have the same stories, same things going on, but you're comfortable with that. But you know that you're not happy with it. But you may decide not to change. You may just decide this is what life is, and you stay there. Jeanice Cummings is saying, okay, I got your back. I hear you. But if you want, let's go play with this. Let's go see if you can go that other route. And the other route is this vision of you being able to be in peace and calm, way better. It doesn't have to be perfect, but how you feel right now. There were times in my life when I wanted to jump out of my body. I had hypothyroidism. I wanted to stop and look around. And even though I was a CPA or building a business, whatever it was, or just running in track, it's like doing things. Sometimes I felt like I was running in place. I wasn't even running as fast as I could because I have this thing where I freeze. Well, some others, you may have this thing where you just go, 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 but that affects your health. So Jeanice Cummings is really coming into a full vibrato of what this is about. I guess Jeanice has come back in, but this full vibrato of if I make these changes, how can life be better? And then how can you show up in a way that it makes life even better? So this is Jeanice Cummings. I hope you like the introduction because I want you to know the depths of what's really happening in this conversation, because it's not going to just be a surface level communication. I gave Jeanice this comfort level of like, hey, we're going to have a conversation, two women in the room, and we get to share it with people that, we're like, we want some transformation. We want to feel safe as we're going into that vulnerable space of changing our life. So if you're ready for that, you're ready for this conversation. Jeanice Cummings, welcome in.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
We're finally here. Jeanice, it's been less than a year when we first connected. We knew each other even before that. But there
Mhm.
was something, and if we start listening to our intuition, there's something there that gets us into this space like, I think we need to talk. And when we came together, we go, yeah, this is very interesting. Like we're kind of talking about the same things. This is really cool. And I really was loving on Jeanice Cummings and the evolution that was happening at that time. Let's go there, Jeanice. Let's land the community there in what's been the transformation in your 2022 year? What's happened that, and some of the growth gems that you've had for what's happened in 2002 to where you are now?
It's a good one. That's a very, very good question. And I do see a lot of growth from that time to this time. And a lot of it happened at the death of my mom. And I really came to Oklahoma. I relocated from California and I came to Oklahoma to share some of the responsibility with my sister of caring for my mom. At the time, though, I knew that we have this calling. Sometimes we don't really even know why, because I really was thinking about staying in California, but the situation did not present itself. I was just going to go down there, help out, come back, go back like that. But it didn't work out like that because I couldn't find a place in California that was comfortable. It was during COVID. And the situation happened that I kind of got pushed to Oklahoma to stay, not to just run in and run out.
Yeah.
And the glory of that is that I really got to know my mom, because I had met her at a time when she was vulnerable and she was in an unhealthy relationship, in a toxic relationship, in an abusive relationship. And as a child, we see our parents differently. And I believe that I held a lot of resentment and I didn't even know it, because
Yeah.
we often feel guilty when we say negative things about our parents.
Yeah.
And that's because they've done so much for us, whether it doesn't really matter in what capacity, the love was there to some degree, to a big degree. But I realized that I really didn't know my mother. I really didn't know her. I knew her when she hadn't evolved, when she hadn't transformed. And that little kid brain was judging her based upon that. But when I got a chance to spend that time with my mother, I really, I, I definitely evolved, because she was a pillar in the community. Everybody loved her. She did so much for people. And I didn't even know that side of her. There
Yeah.
was some things that she had done. I didn't even know she did them.
Yeah.
Because one thing about abuse, it takes over the whole family. It takes over the whole family. And the person that you see that you're with is not the person that they really are.
Yeah.
And I have evolved, and that has been as a result of me coming to Oklahoma and revisiting my childhood.
You know,
And it feels great.
and I feel like just doing this stuff for so long, I always feel like there's a divine space. Like there was a reason why that journey brought you there. So how do you feel about having that healing? Really starting to see that your mama as the person that she was, not the child of you, and seeing some things that you're very frustrated with. We're talking about the stuff that you work on and why you work on that stuff of like, if I heal myself, then I get to see my parents in a different way and I get to live life in a different way. So what are your learnings that you really, and the healing you've gotten maybe in your body, or how you express that to your clients from having this experience this last year?
One of the learnings is that people change. Sometimes we get this perception that they're going to stay like that forever,
Yeah.
and they don't. They're learning. They're learning. Maybe we shouldn't judge them so harshly during the learning process.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I learned out of it. And the other thing is that people see people differently. Like, I didn't know my mom was all involved with these, because she worked with children with disabilities, and these were
Oh,
high school students, and um, she made them do what she expected, the best,
yeah.
and they gave her the best. She wouldn't let them, like lots of people with disabilities, oh, they're disabled, let's
Yeah.
give them a break.
Yeah.
And no, although she wasn't really extremely hard, but
Yeah.
she expected it and they lived up to it. And that's what I learned too. And I always knew that anyway, but it just kind of cemented that in.
Yeah.
And I also learned that you have to be careful about that little kid inside of you, especially the little girl, because sometimes she can run the show and she
Oh,
really doesn't know what she's doing.
yeah.
So that just kind of cemented that in too.
I love
So
it. I love it, Janice. Love it. But I might have cut you off. Was there a couple more things you wanted to say about
go
that?
ahead, dear. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, basically, I think I covered it all. Let me think.
Well, I have another question for you.
And for me, okay, go ahead, dear. Mhm.
You were saying for me, well, that's where I want to go is like, so you're getting this healing for yourself. Now, the work
Yes.
that you do, how'd that change and get deeper into what you do with your clients? Because I feel like how we showed up last year or how we showed up yesterday is going to be different if we do our work, our healing work every day, and we really speak to ourselves, that we really get this new identity. So how are you showing up for your clients and the people that you're talking with that with
Well,
those new learnings, with the new understanding, with the new vision that you have for you personally and how you get to hold it for the people you work with?
I think one of the things I already kind of knew it, but it kind of cemented it is that freedom. I mean, if you don't have freedom, you
Yeah.
don't have anything. And if you don't have, see the value in yourself, no
Yeah.
one's going to see it in you either.
Yeah.
No one's going to see it. And without that self-love and without that value that you see in yourself, you're just going through the motions. You're not
Yeah.
really living, and you're not free. Your soul is still captive. It's still captive from that early pain.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Captive. Like you're kind of like stuck in that space. And so with you being able to hold that space and say, okay, you're captive, you're in that spot, and this is how you just keep showing up because we get to
Right.
work with people and they open up their space. So, Fresh Talks
Mhm.
Global Vision, think about how you get stuck in your space. You just keep showing up and you go, man, I'm so tired of this. And you get in those stories, and it's the same stories. It's like, I thought that
It
changed. And
is.
it's like, oh, darn, that means I have to learn from that. It'll keep coming up, and so you feel like you're in these shackles.
Mhm.
Oh, we're getting close to like kind of doing a full circle here and getting to the end of the conversation with us. If it goes longer, that's cool. But
Ah,
what are some of the tools that you use, or the conversation, which is also a tool that you use when you're helping somebody feel safe? When you acknowledge them and see them that they are in their stuck space, and you want to open that path for them. Because when you're in abusive situations or you're carrying trauma, I realize this about myself, and I want to give example is just in case Fresh Talks you group can maybe even add some comments here. But I would work within a group, and I wasn't a good person within a group because I needed people to call me out like a strong coach to say, "Hey, you say you want to grow, but you aren't. You're kind of still stuck in this space. Like the talk sounds good, but you're not really making that transformation." And I needed that person to hold a strong path for me because it confused me. Like they would say, my coaches would say this and this, and I go, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and then I would do it, but I'd literally not show up for myself at some point because I would get confused on how to get to that next level. It was because when I was feeling this trauma or this stress, it would stop me. Like that would be that wall, and I didn't know how to break through. So, what are the things that you are able to do to help people feel that they want the freedom? They can feel, I want that freedom. I want to release it. I want to get out of that story, and I want to grow. I want to help that next generation too.
I think for me is holding the vision for them. I hold the vision that they can do it.
Yeah,
And also being honest. I mean, because I have a way of telling people things and they know it's coming from my heart, so they're not offended. But I don't like not being honest or just being upfront. I like being upfront,
yeah,
especially with people that are still kind of in denial
yeah.
around what's going on
Oh,
in
I
their
was
life.
so in denial.
They
Anybody
want to
else?
change. Me too. I was in denial. I was in denial. And that empathy, I know what
Yeah.
they're experiencing, I know what they're going through. And I also know that you can do it if you really want to. And I can show you how.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to just um, piddle around with you. I'm going to come straight at you, but it's going to be with love and with the belief that I know you can do it.
Oh wow,
So,
Janice. I
and
love
people pick that up. They pick it up.
Well,
They
I
they
love
feel
that you're
you.
showing up. I love that you're showing up like that. It's like because there's too many people out there that are saying that they're going to do this, but excuse me, but they
Oh,
don't
no problem.
they don't say, "Hey, knock knock. We're gonna no, I'm holding the space here. Come on, let's move along." And then they know it's from love, so it keeps that safety, and then they can just kind of
Yeah,
keep coming at you like, yeah, whatever. Because sometimes you have to go in the back door. So my one of my clients says, "Well, you
yeah, you
just said something,
do.
help me
You
go through the
do.
back door, so I wasn't like this, kind of fighting with you. So you're finding ways to get in that back door, like,
Yeah, and believe it or not, uh, Rhonda, sometimes people are not ready.
yeah,
They're
right,
not ready,
right,
and I think for me, I mostly say, well, maybe you're not ready right now. Why don't you do this, this, and this so you
yeah,
can get prepared to be ready? And I will walk that walk with you. I will walk
nice,
that walk with you. Because one thing about toxic relationships, they can go around and around and around and around, and you never get to the bottom of what's going on because they just keep talking about it. That's all they're going to do is talk about it and try to get some people to kind of go along to support them and be empathetic, which is good, but it can be harmful as well, especially as a coach.
how
Especially as a coach.
Denise, you said something that really caught my attention on what you know as a coach. So, if in a toxic relationship, you can keep saying, "Yeah, I want to change." You can go round and round, but nothing changes. So, when you're holding the space for somebody, that can get real confusing for somebody. That could be a trigger because because then they're seeing the past them, they're not their potential. So
Uh,
that's a very good one. When did you start noticing that really, because I think this may be new for some people
uh,
hearing this, of why we feel like we can't change, is that I've heard it before, or there's a thing in the back of your brain of history that keeps saying, "Oh no, there's just that vicious cycle. That's just the way it works," and you really believe. So that's a big breakthrough there. What you're saying.
and in toxic relationships, you just jump from one toxicity to another. And because I worked as a program coordinator in a battered woman shelter, I saw the cycle.
Oh,
I saw that within the fourth week or whatever, they're getting homesick. They want to go back. They're finding excuses why they want to leave. I've seen it. I've experienced it as a young girl, and that was a blessing to me. At the time, I didn't know it was,
yeah,
but it helps me in my work. It
yeah,
really does because I can ask those tough questions. How many times have you left before? What got in the way of that happening, of you being successful before? Then we
take
can work,
notes, everyone. Take
yeah, then
notes.
we can work through the things that got in your way before so they won't get in your way when we move forward. And another thing too, women forget about the security. There's security involved. It depends on who you dealing with.
Yeah,
I include the security as part of the process
yeah,
because they're through, but the person may not be through. So
yeah.
they might start stalking you. There's a lot of intricate pieces that go into this healing and recovery that women are not prepared for. And that's a lot of the reason why they go back or they get in relationships and they don't know where this behavior came from.
Yeah,
Yeah, it came from their environment and what they saw, usually.
yeah. My friend, what downloads? I don't have another question here, but I wanted to say to our group, Fresh Talks
Mhm.
Global Vision. You know, there's a lot of nuggets already. We've been going for just like 20 minutes or so, or something like that, but
About
there's
20
so
minutes.
many learning nuggets here. So I want to make sure that you're going to connect with Janice. That's why I brought her in here. We're not going to do a Fresh Talks Global Vision show till September. I brought Janice in, and we're going to bring experts like this in, so that you still feel like what this group is worth to you. Is that we want to have these really deeper conversations, not the accolades and what so and so has done and the surface level. We're talking deep here. So if you're getting this in recording, make sure you got your journal, your pen, and ask any questions. I'm going to tag Janice in here so she can come here. And if you have questions, she's going to be able to grab it and be able to answer anything for you.
Mhm.
Janice, where's a good space, a good way for them to connect with you? We're on social media, but if you want to get them out of social media and get them into an opt-in page so they can connect with you, or your email, or all of that, how can
Well,
people connect?
probably, I would say Facebook is a good way to contact me. And my company is You Win Working With Me. And you can always reach me.com, youwinworkingwithme.com, or youwinworkingwithme@gmail.com. Those would be the best way to reach me.
And is
And
you
I'll
spelt out fully, or is it
with
just a you?
just a you by itself. Yeah. Because I figure if you win, both win. So yes, you win working with me.
.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it there, and then so that I can add some more to that. I
Mhm.
appreciate you so much, Janice. I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
work. And when I look at what you're doing, it was a no-brainer inviting you in. And when I think of how this affects the global vision, because we have a global vision here, hashtag speaker locking arms. So all the work that you're doing, I feel we're in this partnership, this love partnership of this transformation. And I'm gonna go a little spiritual here, which I really love doing, because when we believe that it's not just inside us that we have to get the solution, or that we're just finding Janice and it's just like this two partner. Janice has so many downloads and so much spiritual flow that it will help you open up your flow also. So I see that this global vision truly is about when you bring your frequency up, which is happiness, which is love, which is being able to get in your body and start being able to hear that energy. It's known that we exude this energy. Well, that frequency gets higher, it gets released out into the atmosphere. The atmosphere goes up into where you can see the clouds and everything keeps going up to the universe, and it keeps cycling. So Janice is really supporting everybody by changing the energy on this earth. And if we can keep doing that, oh, hashtag speaker locking arms, my friend. Let's keep
Yes, I
locking
love that.
arms. And when you see somebody that is wanting to move forward and they're just in a vicious cycle, like what Janice brought up, was that cycle, that feeling that nothing changes. Like I keep wanting to change, but I can't. But you need a guide. You like not need, but you yearn. Like if you know somebody like that, or you are that type of person, where you're just like, I'm in that space right now, and that I said that type of person, I actually want to take that away. If
Mhm.
you're ready for your new identity,
Right.
then that is where, because I don't like to say you're like this type of person, because we get new identities every time we step into something new, but you want a good guide. So let's connect with you win with, oh, what was it?
You win working with me.
You win working with
With me.
me.com.
Exactly.
And then at gmail.com also, it
Yes.
directly
Yes,
connect to
dear.
that. And then you can find her, you can click her name, and you can find her right in Facebook, and she has a great group. We're going to be over there pretty soon as Janice gets to interview me too.
Yes.
Appreciate you
Excited.
so much, my friend. Thank you
Okay.
so much for your time.
All right.
God
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Anything else you'd like to say that maybe I just didn't
Well,
cover? This is
I,
like the PS part. Like anything else you'd like to cover?
yeah, I'd like to tell whoever's listening, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You can, if you want something different, you can have it. Just believe that you can do it, and you can do it.
Breathe that in. That's very good words. Appreciate you, my friend. Fresh Talks Global Vision. It's all about getting into action. Make sure you're bringing people in and so that they can get this mindset motivation. I trademarked Mindset Transformation Entertainment. Our brain does get in the way, but to really build that bridge to get in our heart and the spirit, we really want to be aware
Mhm.
of where how we're showing up. We want that transformation so we can kind of play with the brain, wake things up so that we really are ready to partner. And I love that last part, Janice, that you said. It's not your fault. And it's stuff that's been put upon us. And I'll just take that gem of what Janice said. Appreciate you. Namaste.
Thank you. Ashe. Bye.
Namaste. And Janice, you stay here, and I'm just going to
Mhm.
end our conversation.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate everyone. I can't wait to spend more time with you. Fresh Talks Global Vision. I will be in with you.